Now, going back to these referendums and how they work, now, if this referendum would be passed, or any referendums are passed, are they applicable to the whole state, like for each county and things like that?
Are you talking about 42 and 42A?
Yeah, just the constitutionality of these referendums in general.
Well, and what this is, it is a ballot initiative, only to distinguish between a referendum.
Okay, so what is the difference there, if you don't mind?
A referendum, in my opinion, is a politician's easy way out of not having to vote on something. They get a pulse of the community to vote, which is really the politicians not doing the job they were elected to do, which is to vote on everything. The hard ones, the easy ones.
Right.
So they merely have a referendum, and the majority will determine
right.
whether or not something they want done or don't want done, and then the politicians say, well, I'm only voting the way I'm voting because of the referendum. In a ballot initiative, it is an actual effort to change the law, and the vote does control. And so this is not as easy as majority wins. We've also, in 42, have to have the majority, or we have to have at least 48% of the people that voted in the governor's race also vote on that
right.
issue. So, yes, this would be binding on the entire state because it would change the Constitution. Just as, and I disagree that ballot initiatives, with many of my brothers who have said this, that constitutional amendment's a horrible way to change the law. Well, it's unfortunate that you have to do that, but we have to remember that it was constitutional amendments that abandoned slavery and gave women the right to vote
right.
as well. So if we amend the Mississippi Constitution, it will amend the Constitution and affect all of our counties in the state, without a doubt.
Now, talking about that same thing, of course, we had here, and while you were alderman here, the whole Mississippi flag issue about how Oxford took down the Mississippi flag, and that was passed by referendum. Would that not be applicable to Oxford?
A referendum would not be applicable to it. You kind of confuse two statutes there. One is, in Mississippi, the law about the state flag gives every city has the right to fly or not to fly the flag. The cities make their option. Now, we didn't say we're changing the flag. We merely exercised our right, and I will add, unanimously, with Republicans, Democrats, and Independents, we had the right to, under state law, decide whether we wanted to fly the current state flag that seemed to be divisive in the community, or to not fly it. We did not do a referendum to get a pulse of the community because we have had overwhelming support for that, and we did what we felt was best for Oxford.
What do you say to the people who feel that is some kind of violation of your power as alderman? For instance, this flag was voted in by the whole state, yet you as alderman decided arbitrarily to take the flag down.
Well, arbitrarily would be a very broad term to use. Actually, I would say to them that it is still the state flag, period. However,
but does Oxford still respect that flag?
We respect the flag, but we have exercised our statutory right to choose not to fly it. It's different than if the statute said you must fly the state flag, as it does for the school districts. Right. But it does not say that for the city. And we unanimously, we looked at this, we had most of the citizens, everyone knew about it, many were there, the news media was there.
Right.
It wasn't done in the dark. Personally, out of all of the letters and emails that I got, and I feel comfortable with the others that this would be representative of them, they were overwhelmingly in favor and proud that we had done that to help unify our community. I had approximately 8 negative, and I would say some vitriolic calls, and ironically, none of them lived in Oxford or within an hour of Oxford, and 2 were from out of state.
Right.
I thanked them for their concern about how we live in Oxford and invited them to come visit.
Okay. All right, moving on. Now, you're running on the Democratic ticket for this primary. I mean, not for this election, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I thought I made it through the primary.
You made it through the primary, yes. The general election, I'm sorry. I'm still in primary mode. How far do you align yourself with the National Democratic Party? Because, I mean, I know Hillary Clinton and Debbie Schultz.
I don't. I am... I consider myself to be what the majority of America is, and I don't consider myself red or blue. I think I'm purple. I have conservative economic principles. I believe in responsible government. By the same token, I don't believe that we need to be involved in the social issues. I believe in individual liberties and freedom. I respect those who disagree with me. My military background said that I may passionately disagree with what someone says, but I will passionately defend to the death their right to exercise that right. So how do I align? I didn't take any money from the National Democratic Party. I've not taken any from the Republican Party, nor have I taken any from any PAC or out-of-town corporation. I am what I consider to be the majority of just red-blooded Americans. I am purple. I see things sometimes left, sometimes right, but for the most part, I see them that we should be doing what's best for our community and our state, not what a party or a PAC contributor tells us we should be doing.
So, any opinions on the whole Democratic primary then that's going on?
I think that it's, for lack of a better term, it seems to be a circus on both sides.
Okay. Is there any way people can contact you or be able to donate to your campaign? Do you have a website or anything like that?
Well, I do. I can be reached anytime on my cell phone, 662-816-2888. I've got a web page that is Jay Hughes for district12.com. It's also a Facebook page. We do have donations set up through PayPal on that. But I would respectfully suggest if anyone's an out-of-town corporation or PAC, I'd rather not have your money, but I'd love to have your support and hear from you.
All right, Mr. Hughes. Well, thank you for being with me.
Thank you, Matthew.
We really do wish you the best of luck into the election.
Again, like I told you when we started today, whether you vote for me or my opponent, just please exercise your right to vote on November 3rd. Don't let a vote go wasted.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.